Welcome back, or welcome to my channel for the first time. Today we're going to take this $10 thrifted mahogany table and turn it into a coastal inspired adorable table with Dixie Belle paint. So please join the line and have some fun.
I am Jill with Simply Made Unique by Jill. We will be setting up a coastal look on this beautiful little table. You can see that I have a bunch of fun colors up here. I turned them backwards so you can see my lineup. And we are going to just do some fun beachy things on this little table. I have, starting with the Gulf, this is Pure Ocean. I had Dixie Belle Blue, I had to remember which one I actually pulled out. Hurricane Gray, Driftwood, and Cotton. First we're going to do a little bit of a whitewash. I painted this whole table. I actually slicked it first because it was mahogany color. It's probably mahogany wood, but it had a very slick varnish on it, so I figured it wouldn't bleed through. It did not because I used silk. But first I put 2 coats of slick stick on it, and then I put 2 coats of silk in Baja Gray, which is this beautiful light gray color, kind of along the lines of Driftwood from the chalk paint mineral paints. It's a little bit different. So everything I'm doing tonight on this table, I would normally, if I was using the chalk paint line, I would seal the table and then go into my whitewash and setting up the wood grain. Beautiful table, has this wood, this was included on the table, this excuse me, is wood. So I just knew I wanted to do something fun and simple. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves a couple rags, because we're going to do a light whitewash just to accent all this. I want it to be a little more dramatic than white wax. Normally I would use white wax. I want it to be a little more dramatic because Baja has a little bit of a lighter gray. So I'm grabbing myself, let me just position myself here on the floor. I'm grabbing myself on a plate a little bit of cotton. Of course you want a misting bottle and some kind of brush, right? So you're gonna actually wet your surface. Now, like I said, if this was chalk paint, I would close those pores by sealing this so I can get the paint off where I want it. So I don't want it everywhere, and this is gonna look a little messy, but it's okay. We are just gonna paint basically some watery white all across here, and especially in that wood molding. I just love this little rose pattern on this. I'm a sucker for these kind of things, so I knew I had to have this little table. We're gonna make it super fun and beachy so somebody can't refuse that, even though it's a little bit lower, you know, a regular size table. People like things a little bit taller now. They're gonna say, you know, I had to have that. So then you take your rag. This has no water left in it, right? I can't squeeze out any more water. This is just a damp piece of an old t-shirt. While this is wet, we're just gonna start pulling away. And we wanted to leave streaks onto the gray, at least I do here. So normally if you didn't, you could just keep wiping this. I wanted to leave a little bit of a streaky white to kind of dull down the gray a tiny bit and give it like that whitewashed beach look. Let's start on that wood grain look. So we're definitely going to need our mister bottle. We're going to get our colors. Again, I'm using sea glass, driftwood, which is very close to the original finish, hurricane gray. Oh, let's see if I can do a magic act here and hold all of them, and pure ocean. So those are the colors I'm using to create this varied look underneath, to have a wood grain run over. Chip brushes are just your natural bristle brushes, right? One for each color, or we're going to share a little bit here with 3 of my chip brushes. We are also going to try this tonight. I've done this with other brushes before, but tonight we're going to try it with the big. What we're going to do here is, now you're not going to see my paint. I'm going to put that down on my little area here. We are going to wet this surface. Make sure there's no animal hairs on there. I try to keep my dogs out of this room, but they love to be in here. We're going to get this surface pretty wet. You can see that I gave it a good spraying. Now we're going to start with our grays. Just, it doesn't matter which one you start with. This might cause some people anxiety because it's going to look like a complete mess. This gray is going to blend right in with the rest of the table. So you might not see what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna come around and grab blobs of this gray here and there. No rhyme or reason. Now I'm gonna use the same brush. I'm gonna grab the dark gray, and we are also gonna run just random streaks wherever you feel fit. You can always put more in later, but we're just gonna run some of them in there, right? Told you, it could cause you anxiety because it looks like a mess. We're gonna grab some of our sea glass and we're gonna run that in between the colors, just here and there. You wanna do, when you're doing this technique, you wanna do at least 3 colors. It looks the best that way. Not that you can't do it with 2. It looks the best with 3 colors, at least. I'm doing 5 today because I know what this looks like and I really want it to be just a showstopper. Now you come in with a little bit of your Pure Ocean. That's gonna be the one that really catches people's eye. Right? So we're just putting it here and there, just a little bit here and there. And last but not least, we are gonna put a tiny bit of white because it will want that little bit of lightness. So we're gonna find some spots that we don't have, maybe in with the gray a little bit. Now this looks like a total disaster, right? I promise you it works out. I've done it many, many, many times. All right, we got some white going on there, just here and there, just a little bit, just to pull that lightness. If we need more, we can always add it. We're not gonna worry about our ends at the moment. Now what we're gonna do is, this has got pretty much a good coating of water on it. We're gonna do a little bit of a mist. We're gonna mist our brush. We don't want our brush wet. We just wanna mist it. And we're gonna start taking this. Oh yeah, that brush works perfect for this. Like I said, this is kind of my first time I'm using the Big Daddy for this purpose and not with Terra. And we're just gonna run those colors together. We don't wanna blend them so that they're muddy. We just wanna run them so that they start giving you a varied look across here. So when we run the wood grain, you're just gonna see that beautiful color underneath. Now I feel like I need a little bit more Pure Ocean because I really love how that looks. So I can just take little dabs of it. Again, we're not going to run this together until it's muddy. We're just blending those colors together slightly. You're not going to be able to see if you're thicker here, thinner here. By the time you put that wood grain and you bring that tool and you rock that tool across this, you're not going to see that difference. So now what you could do, if you don't want this to continue around the edge, is take your rag and wipe your whole edge so you have that nice clean edge. If you don't want that color to run down the edge. I like it to be just on the very top and have that just speak for itself. What I like to do is let this dry. Tomorrow morning, first thing, or even like probably late tonight before I go to bed, I'm gonna give it a clear coat of, flat clear coat. I'm gonna give it 1 coat of that. So tomorrow when I'm gonna use white paint and some satin clear coat to make the wood grain. So what we're gonna do is get ourselves a little bowl. This is Dixie Belle's satin clear coat. That's what we're gonna use as like our slippery kind of glazy material. We're gonna give ourselves a little bit of this. Right? We don't need too much. I just need to cover the top of the table. And then we are gonna tint it to make it white. This is gonna be a white wood grain. We're gonna give it a couple shakes of cotton right into the clear coat.
You can see I'm mixing them together really well to make sure that that clear coat and paint mix fully.
A brush of any sort, a misting bottle. I'm gonna move this so you guys have a little bit better of a view so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Oh, you need to come to me. There we go. Now you got a view of the whole top. So I'm gonna mist this top, not soaking wet, just a nice mist. I am gonna take this glaze paint mixture and basically paint this whole top. It's gonna look kind of sloppy. I promise it comes out really beautiful. I'm not gonna worry about going over the edges at the moment. I can wipe them back later. I wanna make sure that whole top is covered with this glaze-like mixture mixed with a little bit of water so it stays nice and fluid. I don't have to be even on this. I just want it to cover the whole surface. Okay? One I ordered off of Amazon. It actually came with 3 sizes. Here's 2 of them. Sometimes I use this for crafting and I run it over paint just to get a distressed look. Did not wash these off, but here's 2 different size wood grains. This is what makes your wood graining effect. You take this tool, right, and you put it down and you drag and rock. Drag and rock. So that's what gives you your wood grain. Now, when you go on to another one, you go the opposite way. Drag and rock. See how I took off a lot there? That's fine. So now I came this way with my tool. This one, I'm gonna go the opposite way. Put it down, drag and rock. You can see long pieces, short pieces. You can rock this back and forth. We can come in here with our little tool, and that looks a little plain in there. We could just run an extra little bit in there. It don't matter. You can do it any way you want. Now we're gonna take our tool. We came this way. Now again, we're gonna go this way. And again, we're gonna take our little tool because it makes a little bit different of a wood graining and go the other way. That's how simple that is. Now I do have a little bit of buildup here. So I'm going to pull that with my brush. And we're just going to take this and just even that out a little bit. Nobody will ever know. So you do want to clean up your edges if you're not doing that wood graining look on your edges. So you'll get yourself a wet rag and just come around and make sure that you did not run off your edge with that white if you don't want it on there. I don't want it on my edges. I might give it a distressing of white, but I don't really want too much white paint on the edge. Right? So see how beautiful that is? And that is just a coastal wood grain blend. Now, when this dries, I can give it any top coat that I want. I can even make the edges look a little distressed. Of course, I'll probably distress my edges there, but it gives you that really varied look underneath, plus the wood grain on top.
I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial on faux wood grain and a coastal look with Dixie Belle Paints and Simply Made Unique by Jill. Please like and subscribe and hit that little bell so you get all our notifications. Thanks for joining.